I've always, I guess, felt like it was more of a positive thing to have a channel that doesn't pride itself on trying to grab any type of attention via clickbait, the usual words like such and such changes everything, what you think you didn't know, and all other types of BS of that nature. So, I'm not about to start now. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a problem. Preemptive naysayers out there, I'm aware that there's an assumption that if anyone has an issue with Ninja Gaiden or any of the games of that ilk, you just need to get good and whatever else the not kids are saying these days. But see, here's the problem. I'm fucking better than you. Yeah, I said it. I've beaten all of the Ninja Gaidens. All of them on the highest difficulty. And yes, I'm actually including the 2D ones. And I don't care what anyone says. They're worse than the 3D ones. Now, I did start off with the Xbox version for Ninja Gaiden 1s. And when we got to 2 onward, it was PS3 or the PlayStation family. And I knew not to touch 3, the original version. And that the original fuck your life up difficulty was going to be on the Wii U version. Yes, that's right, I beat that one's ass too. And in fact, if memory serves, I even went through a whole playthrough, highest difficulty, with Momiji and Ayane and Kasumi as well, whom I don't expect to make a return in this, which just compiles things. So yeah, let me get into it. Now, for those who remember the concept of the Big Three, it's a term that randomly shows up in pop culture, almost like a legitimate coincidence in various forms of media. For video games, when it comes to action games of the hack and slash and, modern beat 'em up variety, 3 names came up. It was God of War, 1 through 3, the Devil May Cry franchise, and the Ninja Gaiden franchise. And, in betwixt new titles coming, Bayonetta pops up. So I guess we can include Bayonetta in this one. But to be fair, Bayonetta was not originally factored into the concept of a Big Three. And these conversations went on for years. Some of them were heated. Some of them were just, hey, these are all fun, but for different reasons, etc., etc. And Ninja Gaiden was in a very unique place. It was always either put near the top or directly at the bottom. There was no middle ground. Common reasoning being, it should not be this hard for me to enjoy myself while playing this game. A triple digit number of moves, when even if you memorize half of them, you'll at best maybe use 20 throughout your entire playthrough, and you'll use even less in higher difficulties when you're fighting bosses. All valid issues, all valid complaints. But there was one problem that Ninja Gaiden never had, okay? After the first game, you understood the scenario. You understood the job, essentially. Basically, once certain things that become signature to a franchise are established, you know and are expected to want them, or at least bring them up if they're missing. But for some reason in Ninja Gaiden 4, quite literally, it is the most frustrating thing. The developers are acting like they don't know what was expected. Ninja Gaiden 4 has a problem that has only recently started plaguing the Devil May Cry franchise with its last 2 entries. Or I guess if we want to go actual releases, its last 3 releases, maybe 4. Starting from Devil May Cry 4, we have a main character who is not actually the main character in his own franchise / story. Furthermore, we have a main character who is somehow got switched over to a supporting role, and we essentially are being lied to. I'm not even going to say gaslit. I swear this shit is almost identical. The only difference is we don't have Itsuno coming out after making an accidental statement, but I honestly feel like he meant it. But to be fair, I don't hate him for it. I've always respected that man. I even told him happy birthday every chance I can remember it. That it almost feels like they think that we think if they tell us Hayabusa is 50-50 in the story, or the story will share equal parts of these characters, we're not going to figure that out when the game drops. And we're not going to tell everybody else. In Dante's case with Devil May Cry 4, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, oh, you play half the missions as Dante. No, you don't. No, the fuck you don't. You don't even fight any unique bosses. And the only way to fight the last boss is Dante, if memory serves, is if you go through the tower, which means you had to fight anywhere between, I believe, 100 or 500 enemies on a platform before you got there. But that's not even the worst part. On top of this, Mr. Hayabusa, who is not even starring in his own title, only has one close range physical weapon outside of randomly throwing in kicks. His katana. What the actual fuck? Platinum Games was not given some major hard restrictions. We know this, they've confirmed this. The president and CEO of Platinum Game is also apparently friends with one of the developers over at Koei Tecmo. So they have a very friendly, non-adversarial relationship behind the scenes. They worked on this game together. It wasn't just, here's our IP, Platinum, do whatever you're gonna do. Or maybe that's just what it was and they didn't want to say it because they realized very late, oh shit, that's gonna be a problem. Ninja Gaiden 4 has Ryu in less than or just about 30% of the actual primary campaign. He has 4 ninpo, or ninja magic spells, and he has a sword. Blood Raven motherfucker has a drill sword, rapier-like alternative sword, can extend the range of his basic katana, has a dual wield format of it. I believe they said he also has katana. No, I haven't come across katana. He has his bow staff, and I'm just sitting up here like, what's next? You gonna give him Hayabusa drop too? That's exactly what they did. And he takes up 70 to 80%. And he has the personality. Well, his personality is basically Ryu 2.0. Again, here we are with the Dante problems. Nero, besides being related to Dante, was meant to be a personality that evokes Devil May Cry 3 Dante. So I'm trying to understand why, for any fucking reason, this story is even formatted the way it is. Like, I don't understand, and we've had no explanation, why Ryu is only using one close range weapon, which I know they know is important, because their DLC, which you're quote unquote automatically allowed to get if you get the day one deluxe edition version, which doesn't come out till next year, they only have one still image of it, and it's Ryu wearing a weapon we've never really seen before, but a lot of people assume, much like myself, it's a new version of his Wolverine claws. Oh, and Raven Ninja motherfucker has a scythe now because he needed one. Look, when Devil May Cry made number 4 and they made number 5, when God of War went from number 3 to number 4, when Ninja Gaiden's going from number 3 to number 4, there are certain expectations. If you are not going to meet those expectations, show it, say so early. So maybe you can pull in and get people interested who normally would have left. Because I'm telling you, it is better to be honest with your fan base than look at us like we're not going to figure things out or that we're too stupid to realize something. And based on the way these guys are talking and moving around in the development side of things, I legitimately can't tell if they legit thought this was not going to be an issue or a problem, or they foresaw the issue and they can't admit that it's upper management's fault because they wanted to hit a specific target deadline and they didn't have enough time. But here's my problem with that. Yakumo, the Raven Ninja motherfucker, who I've been calling such this whole episode, Yakumo and the entire storyline had to have been decided at some point before major development and during major development. So that means from the beginning or from the early start of production, they knew what the fuck they were doing. Devil May Cry 4 has a lot of leeway. because a lot of people didn't know things happened or why they happened, and they made assumptions. The assumptions got popular online. Some people said what actually happened, and it all got washed away and blurred away. But not because of maliciousness, it's just because the shit wasn't properly organized in the first place. And if memory serves, I think only I've seen maybe 9 people try to get it organized, and I was in that group of 9, and 2 of us, were bilingual, and 1 person could like legit read Japanese. So that's the only reason we have it together, and we don't even know how many other people have it together, or information gets lost because time passes. So I'll come across some video or some comment in some forum where people openly say, hey, I found this new tech, secret tech, hidden tech. Depending on where your style meter is, Dante's combos get easier to perform and are extended. No. Release. Sometimes things aren't a secret. GameFAQs knew everything before anyone mentioned anything. Okay? I've even told people about this as early as the first year of this. This is not something new. What pissed me off for the longest time is that GameFAQs rejects teaching people this. They rejected every time I tried to submit it to the website. And then a new version of the game came out over 10 years later, and they let whoever that motherfucker was submit it. I was so pissed. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting any accolades from it. I just don't like that I was told, nah, this ain't a secret, even though it's obviously a secret. And then someone else can just come in and they go, oh yeah, cool, thanks for discovering it, bro. Guess we can call that a little bit of Clayton Chapman in me. It was supposed to be on one platform. They got told midway through development it's going to be multi-platform. So shit got shortened. For some odd reason, Itsuno just decided he didn't want shit to do with Dante anymore. And the producer, which we all forget are there, realized very quickly, nah, that would probably be problematic. You're putting Dante in this game and you're making him playable, So things went how they went. Most of those people who worked on 4th memory servers don't even directly work for Capcom. They were independent contractors and they're not even in the company / associated with it anymore. So I can understand that to some degree. And, even though there wasn't technically development hell, a lot of developers felt stressed and rushed, which is still all too common in any form of game development, let alone Japanese game development. Then we get to 5, and quite literally there is no reason that they couldn't have made it so every single person couldn't be played throughout the entire game's story afterwards once you beat it initially, maybe in extra mode. They could also have done that in 4. Yet they didn't. Then they remade both those games. Still didn't. Even added in new characters. Ninja Gaiden has never had these problems. So now, what normally happens is, when the PS3 version comes out, which is why I was sticking with those more than the Xbox ones, we get an extra character added, or 2. In 2, it was Ayane and Momiji. Now you get to 3, it's Ayane and Momiji Kasumi. But guess what? You can play them through the whole fucking game after you beat it and unlock them. Revolutionary, right? Now I could complain about a lot of things. I could state how odd it is that the combo system now feels more like a Devil May Cry game. You buy that stuff instead of building up and upgrading your weapon and then new moves coming with it. Okay? But to be fair, that's not really a gripe. That's more like they wanted to possibly find ways to extend gameplay. They changed how you go about it, and there's a chance it can make your techniques more memorable, because instead of looking at them in a menu or being lucky enough to have a real-time system set up like they did for the 3rd game, you might memorize things more just because, boom, you have to pay for them. Okay? Sometimes modernization happens and it just looks like it's being lazy or ripping off somebody else. No, sometimes it's just modernization. I don't care who you are. You don't want first-person shooter games to play like they did in 2001. Rarely does anybody want that. But in the case of Ninja Gaiden 4, this did not need to happen. If they wanted to make a new teammate, playable person, they're finally going into sequel territory, not prequel territory stuff. You had Momiji and you had Ayane. Newest apprentice, reminder, that's what a Momiji initially was. And then going from there. Okay? Or hell, found a way to get that spider soul lady that he's with. I haven't played Ragebound and paid attention to the story. I know it sounds fucked up, but when I got to Ragebound, which, man, I love that soundtrack. All I did was play the game and I kept pausing and skipping a bunch of shit. Like, I don't actually know the story. But I liked it. But no, for some reason, it's going to be up to the PC modders to make it so Ryu Hayabusa is playable in every stage in his own franchise. It's going to be up to PC modders to possibly reskin Yakumo to be Ryu, just so we could have a Ryu that utilizes more than one fucking close range weapon. Or they may just make it so he's a reskin, but he can switch between the nin pose and then every other weapon that Yakumo has is, but again, dressed up as Ryu. And it really bothers me because these developers act like they don't know PC mods exist. I get that they are technically illegal in Japan, but that changes nothing. You know why people came to play this game. So here's where it becomes a dangerous problem. If Yakumo gains popularity, is there a chance he'll be used to replace Ryu Hayabusa for the franchise? Because they can tell us no, that's not going to happen, but we know they'll lie to us. I don't know how to feel about this game. Is it hard? Yes, it's a Ninja Gaiden game. Is it fun? Yes, it's a Ninja Gaiden game. It's not for everybody. Are there going to be more playable characters? We don't know. Are there going to be more weapons? Singular, not plural, so far. And we have no idea how this franchise is going to continue on going forward. This is just as scary to think about as what would happen in a Bayonetta 4.